We now have another presentation. The Chief Deputy Clerk from the Clerk of Court's office is here, Mr. Jamie Cade. I asked that Chief Cade would come on up at this time and make his presentation about some of the upcoming record retention event that's going to be hosted by the Clerk of Court's office. Chief Cade.
Honorable Commissioners, fellow citizens, good morning.
Good morning.
I come to you today to make you aware of an upcoming event that's going to be hosted by the Clerk of Superior and State Courts, Ruth A. Wilson. It is in collaboration with the Rockdale County District Attorney's Office, the City of Conyers, Rockdale County Department of Talent Management, the City of Conyers Police Department, and the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. We've all come together to offer our community the 2019 Record Restriction Day event and Rockdale County Job Fair. This will take place on Friday, June 7th, 2019 from 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. at Salem High School, located on Underwood Road here in Rockdale County. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is record restriction? Record restriction is an opportunity for those that have been arrested in Rockdale County but not convicted of the crime that they were arrested for, an opportunity to have their record restricted. So essentially what applicants do is they go to the website address that is on the flyer that will be located in the back of the room as I leave. They go to the website, rockdaleclerk.com/restriction. They apply for an opportunity to have their record restricted. Once they make the application, it goes through the approval or denial process, which is all taking place at the Rockdale County District Attorney's Office. Not everybody qualifies, and there are certain conditions that apply, certain requirements under the law that prohibit an approval being given. But essentially, once the application is made, applicants need to appear at the event on June 7th to get their results. They're provided with a packet, and in this packet of information, they're provided with a detailed letter that explains the approval or the denial that takes place. If there is a denial, we have attorneys on hand at this event from the Georgia Justice Project that will answer any questions that anybody has as to why they may have been denied or what their record may or what their proof may look like when they apply for jobs in the future. So essentially what this does is it allows people the opportunity to have improved employment opportunities, improved housing opportunities, and also improved financial opportunities. We are accepting applications until May 15th of this year, and I'm available at any time to answer any questions from anyone in the future as it relates to this program.
Can you give us an example of someone who would receive that acceptance and someone who would not?
Yes, ma'am.
So we can understand the difference.
In a situation to where, let's take for example, a 17-year-old young adult who has been charged with a crime. They did something, what they deemed to be fun and crazy. As a 17-year-old, they got arrested. They went through the court process, and they through the court process were either found not guilty or their charge was null-prossed, in other words, dismissed through the court process. They may not realize it, but even though it's dismissed, it's still on their criminal history. So they go through their life and they may think that it's all in their past, but then they go to apply for housing opportunities or scholarship opportunities or any other possibilities in the future that they may apply for, and they realize that it's still lingering out there and somebody has now held this against them because they have this charge on their record. Not a conviction, but a charge. So that would be an example of a situation that would qualify. Another example would be perhaps, as to your point, something that would not qualify would be a serious crime such as murder or some kind of plea deal that was made with the district attorney's office as it relates to a violent drug charge, for example. There's a multitude of reasons why someone may or may not be approved in this process. So I don't want the perception to be that if you have this violent crime that you've committed that it's going to be wiped clean from your record and we're going to have people out here applying for jobs that they shouldn't be applying for. But the Georgia Justice Project is a very good resource for those to use. If you go to georgiajustice.org, there is a record restriction link that will answer any questions about what qualifies and what does not qualify. And also our district attorney, Alicia Adams Johnson, is very instrumental in not only reviewing the charge that has been applied for to be restricted, but also reviewing the entire criminal history to see if there's other charges on the criminal history that may be restricted, and they notify the applicant of that as well.
Thank you.
Commissioner Washington?
Clear.
All right.
Chief Kate, I
Yes,
want to, first of all, thank you and to Madam Clerk Wilson and the Superior Court Clerk's office for putting this initiative together. Would you read off the partners who are supporting you all in this effort again, please?
Yes, sir. We are very happy to, this is a team effort, the collaborative effort. The District Attorney, Alicia Adams Johnson, the City of Conyers, the Rockdale County Department of Talent Management under the direction of Director Holmes, obviously the Board of Commissioners, the Chairman's Office, the City of Conyers Police Department, and the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Rockdale County Public Defender's Office and the Georgia Justice Project. It's a collaborative effort to offer this opportunity to those that may qualify.
I want you to stand there just a little bit longer. I want to expound on this just a little bit more because this is a big deal. I don't know how many of you all in the audience know someone, and I like the example you used of perhaps the young person making a crazy or stupid or foolish decision or mistake in their early years, and these kinds of things tend to follow them all through their life. A lot of folks unknowingly, they have no idea that this is still on their record and it's there, but when they seek employment, for credit opportunities to purchase a home or a house, different other things that one might apply, as he's already stated, these things pop up. They're not always disclosed at the time of application when you're trying to access purchasing a vehicle or a home or seeking employment. But you know, it just makes me proud to know that we live in a community like Rockdale County, where the legal and the justice system and the local government will come together in a collaborative effort to try to help its own citizens, those who have made a mistake or two along the way, and give them an opportunity to redeem themselves by coming out to an event like this. Speaks volumes, Chief K, for the Clerk of Court's office. You mentioned the fact that our district attorney's office is involved, the sheriff's office, the Conyers Police Department, and our Department of Talent Management here in Rockdale County. This saves us a lot of time in terms of trying to point people in the right direction. What we want to do for all those in our community who are seeking to be gainfully employed, as a community, we want to do everything that we can as a government to help make those opportunities as possible as we possibly can. By doing events like this, this gives people a greater chance of turning their lives around and getting into the game. And you know, people will hold stuff against you and hang stuff over your head, and they'll remind you of your past over and over and over. But then there's the spirit of good people who come together at the benefit of the community to bring opportunity for those who are trying to redeem themselves and get their lives moving in a straight and narrow way. We certainly do appreciate that.
One more point.
Please.
I know you have a lot of business on your agenda. This is free. The most important aspect, this is completely free. The City of Conyers and the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office has waived all application fees as it relates to this. So it doesn't cost anybody any money, and there's no harm in trying. So if you're not sure if your charge that you've been arrested for qualifies, still apply. We'll let you know, and we'll provide you with detailed information about why it was approved or not approved.
Chief Cape, again, thank you for this. One last thing on behalf of the people, because somebody watching this broadcast or listening to this broadcast right now probably have a question or a concern and a what if. What's that number that they can call to have that one-on-one conversation with somebody before they come to the event, because they don't want to be embarrassed, they don't want to be arrested on the spot if there's an outstanding warrant or something like that. And I'm in the people business, and I've been in this business for about 35 years, and I like and appreciate what you're doing. So I'm trying to think like the person is listening and watching to this broadcast. Can you give me that number?
Yes, let me address this. Last year, we had 80 applicants, and there was a wide spectrum. You had all different social backgrounds that applied for record restriction last year. So it doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, what your wealth status is, your income status, everybody applied last year. So the two ways. Number
Pastor,
one.
you ought to write this down now. You might have a member in your congregation that can need this help.
Absolutely.
You can write it down. Take your time and give us this number slow.
Okay.
And hold on, I'm going to prep PR. PR, get this where it can stroll across the screen and folk can see it on the little ticker tape running across. This is a big deal, and I'm making a big deal out of it because we're going to help some people. Give us that number.
All right, I'll give you two numbers. First and foremost, 770-278-7903. That's a general information line. That's a recording. But I'll take it a step further. I'm so passionate about this program, I'll give you my direct office number.
Oh, my
That
goodness.
is 770-278-7863. I will be happy to have a private and confidential conversation with anyone that wants any questions answered about the record restriction process and give you information about how you can proceed further.
You
We
do
also-
have voicemail, Chief K.
I do.
Because you about
I
to
do.
get loaded.
That's
You about
okay.
to get- you
That's
about-
okay.
about to get- They gonna call.
I hope they do, because we want to offer this program and we want people to benefit from it.
Yes,
There's
sir.
also an email address if you want to send us an email. It's recordrestriction@rockdalecountyga.gov. Again, that's recordrestriction@rockdalecountyga.gov. You can send us an email as well.
Can I say one thing here? I would like to commend the clerk of court's office. Often, when you see this kind of initiative, it comes from law enforcement or the district attorney's office, but for the clerk of court to be so forward-thinking and to initiate this type of idea, that speaks to her leadership and it speaks to her passion for the community. So I would like to thank her for leading this effort.
On behalf of Ms. Wilson, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Washington, you're so right, and she also has the right chief deputy clerk too, Chief Cape here. Now, because you didn't just work in the clerk of court's office, you have how much experience in law enforcement? You've been in law enforcement how many years, sir?
19.
19 years, born and raised right here in Rockdale County. Now you're over at the Superior Clerk's office doing some fine work. Let's give Chief Deputy Cave a round of applause. It's a poor frog that won't praise his own pond. We've got good people working all throughout the cracks and crevices of Rockdale County. And I'm glad to have him on board, and thanks to Madam Clerk as well.